It's an absolute pleasure to be with you this afternoon and to run this marketing workshop, the Modern Marketing Playbook, transforming data and strategy into success. It's something that I put together. I hope you guys enjoy it and get a lot of value out of what we're going to go through over the next 25 minutes. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ivan Vantagiato. I run a couple of different organizations in Australia. Bank Media, which is my marketing agency. I run Slipstream Autosport, which is an esport team. Some of you are serpents in the house, so can I get a round for the crypto serpents that are around? Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's such a huge pleasure. A lot has happened since last time you saw me. Over a year ago in the Gold Coast. I grew some hair. Now, in my spare time, I love motorsport. It's been one of my biggest passions, and when I'm not talking on stages or in meetings, I love to be out there in the motorsport world and also in the esport world as well, so we combine both. But today, it's not about that. Today is about marketing. And so I want to ask you today, and I'm going to challenge you, what are your business goals? What are you looking to achieve? Not just in the Web3 space, which we've heard some amazing speakers already today, but think about it. What are your business goals? Why did you sign up to watch this type of presentation? And how has marketing changed? Marketing has evolved, and it's really, really fascinating to see what has happened. In a traditional model, not too long ago, before the Googles of the world, the traditional business model looks like this. But then something happened. This happened. So now the most common word is Google it. If you want to know about something, you want to Google it first, right? I mean, who here Googles? Like how many of you Googled, which one was this feeder, right? I mean, that's just what we do. Now that's provided a very unique opportunity. And that opportunity is called the zero moment of truth. Your customers, your potential customers, your potential competitors, they are more educated than ever. They know already the basics of what they're after, and they are well researched into the basics of the questions that they have and the problems that they need to be solved. So for example, we have some accountants in the room. The zero moment of truth is that before they even come and see you these days, they already done some research. They're coming to you with the questions of, how do I set up my superannuation to, better my taxes? And you might be thinking, how do they know that already? Well, that's what's happened with the zero moment of truth. And with the zero moment of truth, the opportunity is that if your content, if your marketing message, if you as a business are able to already answer these particular questions that your potential clients already have, that gives you an amazing opportunity compared to your competitors. And that's what the Marketing Playbook is going to talk to you about today. And so you need to stand out where your potential customers are. And that, how do we do that? Well, I'm going to take you through the customer journey and what that customer journey looks like. So we've got awareness phase, which is your advertising. This is a really, really important part because unless people know about you, they're not going to buy from you. And at the end of the day, I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard this quote, but the quote goes, it's not best burger that wins, but it's the best known burger that wins. And what I mean by that is that people need to know about you. And a lot of people underestimate what this looks like in the awareness phase. So you need to do that. You need to be able to be, once people hear about you, is it easy to find you? Do you have a website? Do you have a social media presence? I know a lot of businesses struggle with that concept of creating a lot of content on social media to be where people are, but I gotta tell you, people are obsessed with these platforms, your TikToks of the world. And if your business is there, easily found, you can have a great opportunity. And then, once they do find you, what's your reputation like? It's really, really important that you have a good reputation. And then we get to the fun part, which is we need to convert. So once you've been found, once it's easy to look for you, once your reputation is there, it's really, really, really important to then be able to convert and have a proper system to convert. And then you need to create advocates for your business. Now, at each step of this particular journey, it's really important that you win. You can't do one without the other. You can't be easily found, but then your reputation's no good. You can't be really good and have a very strong process in how you're going to sell your services if you don't have the right website, the right messaging. So each step is just as important as the other. Now, when we look at a data-driven strategy when it comes to marketing, the topic is not really that complicated. It's really, really simple. You need to understand who is your customer. How do we do that? We're going to talk about it today. Now, why is it important to understand who is our ideal client? Have you ever networked or been somewhere and somebody says, oh, well, you know, my ideal client is everybody? No. I can tell you right now, your ideal client is not everybody. Because if that were to be the case, then, you know, you would potentially have, you know, 6.8 billion people on Earth that which could be your potential customer. But the reality is that there are some things that your company does which are unique. And they're going to be like people that are going to look at your organization, they are going to recognize that, you know what, this company aligns with my values, with my problem, and they give me the confidence that that's the company I want to go with. And there's a step to do that. Now, why is it important? Because the last thing that you want to do is you don't want to market for your competition. Imagine you made the awareness. Imagine you were able to get found. Imagine that then they looked at your reputation and everything worked, only for this to happen, for them to go to your competitor, for then to that competitor to have the new advocate for their business. But in reality, they actually came to you first. They found you first. But imagine in your processes and your procedures when it came to your marketing, imagine if they picked up the phone and tried to call you and your lines are too busy. You don't have too many lines. Or if they emailed you, but you didn't have the marketing processes to email them straight away to, you know, answer their query. And that's what it's all about. So the easiest and fastest way to increase your marketing budget is to use your competitor's budget. Really understand who your competitors are. What are the key advantages that you could potentially bring to the table and capture that market? And there's a way that we do that, right? I mean, we need to do very, very good research. We need to understand our competitors, and we can tap into the opportunities that they have missed out on. But where do we start, right? I mean, this all sounds great. And I'm going to do something a little risky, right? I mean, they don't call me the crypto serpent for nothing. I'm going to run through a marketing workshop as if all of us today were creating a brand new business from the start. I'm going to ask one of you, what niche should we do it in? And then I'm going to take you through it. So let's get started. Let's go and do our market research. Who here in the crowd, what business should we build? Anybody? An NFT company. Okay, all right. Everybody cool with that? Should we start? All right, let's go with it. So, if we were to start an NFT business, an NFT marketplace, right? I'm going to start to do my research. Now, what are the great ways, utilizations of this NFT technology? Now, I like sport. You guys know that. If you were paying attention, you know that I have an esports team. Now, in my research, if I was to use NFT technology in the sports sense, then I would start by looking into, for example, a company like the AFL. Who's a footy fan? Awesome. So let's say we were starting an NFT marketplace for the AFL. Let's say that we wanted to create a Web3 startup that was going to cater to the AFL. We were going to be bought out by the AFL. We'd start to research their problem. And the problem could be that, you know, by creating an NFT marketplace for all their best players to have their NFTs on there, we could be creating an entire new economy for them. But then we need to validate it, right? So we need to look at the data. We need to look at, are we really solving a problem? And then we need to start to look into how would we market this NFT marketplace and eventually get to a stage that we've made so much noise that the AFL says, you know what, we need to talk. So the first things we need to do is we need to look at how do people get into the crypto space in the first place? And the most common one is Bitcoin. That is the number one coin that everybody knows. And so part of our NFT marketplace journey of creating content and educating our potential customers is to talk about that a little bit. But potentially we may build on Ethereum. We don't know this yet. But it's important to understand where your market is at. What are their common questions are, how they're currently going about their business, and what is relevant to them right now. After that, we need to look at how we're going to produce content and produce our marketing strategy to really get this NFT marketplace off the ground. And so what's really important in a data strategy, in a marketing strategy that has a lot of data in it, is that we need to learn our customers' language. Now, I don't mean English or Spanish or Italian. No. I mean, how do our customers like for us to speak to them? What kind of language do they prefer? Because what's really important when it comes to marketing is that we don't make decisions with our left brain. We make decisions with our right brain. And so if our NFT marketplace is to survive, if we are to create a successful company, we need to know what are the marketing triggers that we need to provoke to make them purchase these NFTs from these famous AFL players. And the way that we do that is very simple. This screen right now that is on, you would have gravitated straight away to one of those 4 boxes. Some of you are in the red, some of you are in the orange, some of you are in the green, and some of you are in the blue. And what's really important about that is every single one of those categories likes to be marketed to in a different way. And so part of our research and part of our understanding of how we're going to market this NFT marketplace is that we need to understand our customers. People in the red, we might want to tell them that they're going to be the first. We might want to tell them that there's an exclusive opportunity for them to be part of this NFT marketplace because they're going to be at the cutting edge. That's how they like to be spoken to. And when they hear those type of marketing triggers, they're interested. But if we look at a more analytical approach, we can say, for example, that there is only a limited amount of these particular NFTs. Do you see how each one of these 4 boxes likes to be spoken to? When you're making your marketing plan, when you're making your marketing strategy, your digital advertising strategy, you need to think about these 4 boxes. But let's say we were starting our company. What do we focus on? Well, first of all, we need to focus on awareness. Because without awareness, without people knowing who we are, what we're about, really the rest doesn't matter. Because if we're not able to produce eyes seeing our project and seeing what we're all about, it doesn't matter. Because it means that our product is not even going to be successful to begin with. And then we need to focus on being able to be found, having a good reputation. And then we need to focus on our advocacy program. When people do buy our NFTs, how do we reward them if they keep telling their friends about it? That's really, really, really important. And so these are very important stages. And then, of course, we need to convert. And we need to have a strategy for that. So it's really, really important. But again, none of this matters unless we speak to them in the language that they prefer. I keep going on about this, but it's really, really important because if without the right marketing strategy, without the right approach to how we want to speak to our potential customers, we make our life really, really hard as business owners. By the way, who is a business owner in the room today? Can I get it around? That's awesome. Very cool. So once we've done that, we need to come up with our marketing strategy. And we need to be very clever these days, right? In the world of AI, in the world of blockchain, we've heard some amazing innovations already today being spoken about. But we need to be able to come up with a proper marketing strategy that covers the 4 things that you see on the screen right now. And blockchain and Web3 and having a data-driven approach is absolutely critical now more than ever to just even ask yourselves, what are some of the components in my business that I can optimize, utilize AI, and utilize digital marketing more effectively to grow my company? Once we've done all this, we've figured out that we're going to really kick off this NFT marketplace, which is going to target the AFL. We need to make some tailored marketing campaigns. And when I say tailored, this is the definition of the word tailored, right? So we're not going to market to everybody. We're going to really hone in on very, very specific groups. Now, if I was a clever digital marketer, which I hope I am, if I was targeting NFT marketplace for the AFL, do you know what would be the first thing that I would do? The very first campaign that I would run is I would place a pixel. I would place a pixel on every single AFL club's main location. And I would market to everybody that walks in and out of those clubs with my NFT marketplace, which is going to be tailored to the AFL industry. Now, why would I want to do that, right? My target market is to get those clubs to put the NFTs on my NFT marketplace. Now, that is a tailored approach. The approach of going on social media platforms and putting an ad budget and putting a few keywords, I'm sorry, but those days are gone. We need to be tailored. We need to utilize these digital tools that we have access to in the best way possible. And so these are the 3 tips that I have for you today on how to personalize your marketing. You know, I walk into businesses sometimes and I see that the same remarketing ad has been running for 2, 3, sometimes 6 months. And that's just crazy because these tools allow us to create personalized approaches. We can add different combinations of images and text. And by doing that, we really get to know who our customers are. The point today, one of the main points that I want to come across is that if you use tailored marketing campaigns and you test truly different advertising models, different campaign structures, you're going to find out who your real customers are. Because some companies that have gone through this approach, they thought that their ideal customer was a 40-year-old female who has 2 kids. But once they've tried different marketing campaigns, they actually worked out that their ideal customer looked a lot different to the one that they thought was their targeted customer. And that's the point that I want to come across today. This here is a very simple structure that we utilize when we do Facebook advertising. It covers cold audiences, retargeting, and we use this and we approach this way because when you come up to us and say, look, this is, I think, who our ideal customers are and this is how we approach business, we say, cool. But let's run some cold advertising on people that have never heard of you, people that have never seen you before. Let's try different marketing angles, different imagery, different text, and let's try to test this out, how we're going to approach this and what that looks like. Now, if I was targeting the AFL and I wanted the AFL clubs to become part of my NFT marketplace, I would be on TikTok. Who advertises on TikTok? Do I have a raise of hands? Exactly what I thought. Nobody. One person in the room is currently utilizing the TikTok advertising algorithm. I want you to pay attention to people that are having lunch, dinners, coffees throughout the next couple of days. Because I can tell you, if you look at their phones, they're going to be on this thing called TikTok because it is absolutely crazy how that algorithm pushes out content that you like. After coming here this weekend, after watching a couple of crypto videos, your TikTok feed is going to be full of crypto videos and crypto knowledge. And I can see some heads starting to move. And so if I had an NFT marketplace and I wanted to target the AFL, I'm going to target them the same approach that I did with Facebook advertising, but I'm going to target them on this platform. I'm going to produce what it's called in our company, we call it micro moments, which are 15 to 30-second videos, high rate, high velocity, that we showcase why you should pay attention to what we offer. And by the way, I did say that. I said 15 to 30 seconds. The attention span of your customers today is less than ever. They are looking at you right now and they are thinking about the LOL emojis that they're going to be doing next with the next person that they're talking to. Or they're thinking about lunch, or they're thinking about dinner. And it's really hard for brands nowadays to get people to remember who they are and what they're about. Straight after they've walked out of your meeting, by the time they get 2 red lights and the wife is called saying, hey, are you going to pick up the kids? They've already forgotten half of the things that you told them about. So it's really, really important to do that. It goes without saying that in 2023 and beyond, you need to have a multi-channel approach. You can't just have one platform. There are tools, AI tools nowadays that allow you to chop your content into bite sizes across different platforms. And so don't give me the excuse that you don't have the time, because the time is available. The tools and the resources are available. And there are organizations like us that can assist you in making the strategy on how you're going to maximize your content. But if you run a company today, which I know some of you do, because I've seen the hands go up, and you don't have a social media strategy right now, and you don't want to create content, I highly encourage you to think about it, to consider it, because your competitors will. And I'm not worried about the competitors which have been in the industry for a long time and you know about them. I'm worried about the 18 to 25-year-olds which are coming after your customers. And they're going to be utilizing these sort of tools and these sort of strategies because it's just everyday nature to them. And so have a multi-channel approach, really, really understand what your customers are after, how you want to approach that, because at the end of the day, the tools are there, the expertise is there. Then once we've run a couple of marketing strategies, a couple of tailored campaigns for our NFT marketplace, the next step is for us to analyze our data. Google Console, Google Analytics, Facebook Pixels, all of these amazing tools are available, and there are people out there that will guide you and help you understand this data. And by understanding the data, we can then move on to the next session. And the next session, the next step in our approach is that once we've understood this data, once we understand who our real customers are, we can then go deep into their needs and their wants and how we can best serve them. And it's an amazing feeling. We ran an advertising campaign for a local business the other day, and we actually found out that their ideal client was a woman between the ages of 40 and 55. 90% of the ads that we were running up until that point got turned off, and only the ones that catered to that age group got turned back on. And it's amazing what happens when you do that, because you are speaking to the people that really want to buy from you. And so, if I can recap everything that we've spoken about today, there's been a lot of information thrown at you. How are you guys feeling right now? The number one thing that we need to do is we need to understand our customer's journey. How you approach that depends very much on your business, your niche, and what kind of problem you solve out there. But we need to start mapping out the customer journey, how we're going to create more awareness, how we're going to make it easier for them to find us, how we're going to create a good reputation for our business, how we're going to sell to them, and how we're going to get them to advocate for us across social media platforms. We need to learn their language. We need to understand how do they want to be approached to, how do they want to be spoken to. We then need to go out and make a plan. And we need to be very, very good at this, because by doing this particular step correctly, it makes everything else much, much easier. We then need to start running some tailored ads which cater to our audience-specific needs. From there, we need to learn the data. We need to understand our data and scale our next ads by really, truly understanding what that data taught us about the customer's needs and wants. And then you need to get on TikTok and start doing some TikTok advertising, because I know some of you are still questioning whether I should really do that. I'm joking. The modern marketing playbook, transforming data and strategy into success. I'll leave you with a quote. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Thank you. We do have a few moments if anybody has some questions.
Let's do marketer to marketer. Yeah. Yeah, so I will... how would you describe the perfect journey if you do B2B marketing? So how would the marketing process will look like in terms of timing and approaches you need to consider when you start?
That's a great question. So B2B, sometimes we forget that business owners are people. They're just, people like you and I, and at the end of the day, they all have the same interests and wants as all of us. But B2B, again, it comes back to the problem that you solve. how you want to approach that. A fantastic platform for B2B, of course, is LinkedIn and having that. But a business person is very time poor. And so the way that we really shine and solve their problem is that generally a business owner will allow a person within their company to research, to find the answer to the particular problem that they have. So in the marketing world, for example, a business owner will say to somebody in their organization, find me a good marketing company that understands our industry. And the way you do that is by creating a lot of really valuable content out there about the problem that you solve for this particular industry. And that's how you approach business owners. So produce content, blogs, ads, anything you want to do with marketing that really solves a business's problem, and make it bite-sized, make it easy accessible, and you'll find a lot of businesses will come across. I'll come to you.
Can you just give me 3 words of the strategy of your storytelling in your 15 seconds of video on TikTok? Thank you.
Yes, so the question was, in your 15 to 30-second videos, how would you storytell? What would that look like? Yeah, so I think the 3 keywords is that the first 5 seconds, you really need to highlight the problem. The problem is always number 1. And then the second 5 to 10 seconds is really about how you approach solving that particular problem. And then the final bit is you need to remind them that if they don't solve that problem, what it's going to look like in the future. And that's really, really important. So 15 seconds would go, like, for example, if I was to do it for my marketing company, it would be 9 out of 10 small businesses fail within the first 3 years. The reason why 9 out of 10 businesses fail in the first 3 years is because they don't know how to market themselves beyond their circle. And the next step is you're going to book an appointment with me for 15 minutes, complimentary, and I'm going to show you how you can use digital marketing to market your business so you don't become a statistic. Thank you.
I have a question. So you know my idea, yeah? How you describe to me, like, how should I do it to the public?
Yeah, so I had an opportunity to meet you yesterday, and it was really, really exciting. And so I think when you're building a community, when you're building solutions in the blockchain space to allow the community to get involved in the Web3 space, to become part of your homies, right? It's your community, right? You know, when somebody becomes a member of their community, they become a homie. And so the way that you do that is you need to do marketing to advocate to potential members of your community what a strong, reliable, trustworthy community you are. And that will resonate with somebody. For some of them, you won't, and that's okay. Like, the point of this marketing workshop today is that it's okay for people to not like who you are, what you're about, and what you do. But there are going to be some people throughout your marketing journey which are really going to learn why they really resonate with you and want to work with you and want to come on board on your journey. But if you don't market that, if you don't showcase who you are, how passionate you are, why you've got such a great team, we often hear people say, oh, we have an amazing team. You know, I'll give you an example and I'll wrap it up because I know you guys got other workshops to go to. But in real estate, I find a lot of real estate companies, their Facebook pages and Instagram pages end up looking like a bunch of commercials. Do you guys agree with me? Like, that's just how they use Facebook and Instagram, right? But then you go there and they've got such a great camaraderie and they've got a great team and they've got great personalities. And I don't see any of that on your social media. So how am I meant to know that that's the kind of company you are? And remember, before anything, people buy from people they like and trust. So if you can use marketing to build trust that you are the right person for them, they're going to go with you instead of somebody else. I really appreciate you all. This has been fantastic. Thank you all so very much. For the Crypto Serpents, there is a meet and greet that is happening literally just over this wall It will be amazing to continue these conversations, but thank you all so much.